G'day there, hook, line and sinker time now, and coming to you today from what looks to be, Andrew, suspiciously like a large body of fresh water.
It is indeed, Nick. It's the Great Lake in the Central Highlands of Tasmania, and that means just one thing. It means trout.
Trout, you say?
Yes.
So you'll launch into a bit about how trout are a majestic species and very, very difficult to catch.
Very well educated they are, very hard to catch. Very smart.
To know about flies and bits of fur.
It helps. Don't just come here to Tasmania and expect to catch trout, because you won't.
I beg to differ. I'll show you how you can just turn up and smack them on the head.
This week's destination of the week is Tassie's Central Highlands. It's the land of 1,000 lakes, and almost all of them hold wild trout.
Now, because these wild trout have a tiny brain and catching them is like clubbing seals, I've decided to head out to one of Tassie's better known lakes, Arthur's, for a quick troll.
Whereas I would like to demonstrate the art of fly fishing, a technique which has been around for thousands of years and practiced by kings and queens and lords and ladies.
Alright, so the location that I've chosen here in the Central Highlands of Tasmania is the famous in fly fishing terms anyway, Little Pine Lagoon, and that's where I'm going to practice the noble art of fly fishing to try and trick a trout into eating my bit of feather on a hook. Now, the good thing about Little Pine Lagoon is that it's fly fishing only. That's the rules, so it keeps out some of the lure fishermen, some of the riffraff, if you like Nick. I've just got to get geared up. I'll grab the long wand and hopefully try and trick one of those fish into making a mistake. Very difficult it is though, because they are very smart, these Little Pine Lagoon trout.
Righto, so trolling for trout. Here are a list of things you will not need. You will not need a deer stalker hat, a funny little waistcoat, or an interest in bugs, but you will need a boat, you'll need a couple of rods, and kind of almost all importantly, you will need a sounder. Trout, they're a funny fish, you know, they'll be up on the surface eating bugs, some of them will be, but at the same time others will be off hovering over weed beds, eating sort of little shrimps and snails and things like that, and they're the fish that we're interested in. There is, it has to be said, in trolling for trout, there is quite a little bit of this sort of thing that goes on, just sitting around enjoying the surroundings. Can be a bit of this.
The idea of fly fishing in summer in Tasmania is that we hunt. It's more hunting than fishing. We use our eyes and our ears and we walk along and we try and see a trout before we cast our fly to him and trick him. Yeah, trouty, trouty. I reckon there'll be one up here.
Right, so another big part of trout trolling is this, and that's the kind of the morning tea or the ongoing grazing throughout the day, and you're in such a relaxed environment that this is perfect for this. I've got a few savoury zucchini muffins to get through, thank you very much, and a lovely steaming cup of joe. Look at that. I mean, this is fishing. It's not angling, it's fishing. Yeah, fish on, fish on! That's what we're talking about, and that's just how easy it can be. Oh, a lovely little fish, and he's just smacked this lure. There in the water, right there, is a pristine little Arthur's brown, and he snavelled that lure as we went across. And we will use the net. Ah, trout fishing. All right, so there he is. Our little Arthur's brown trout. And the brown trout is considered, I think, by the purists to be the wiliest of all the trout. This one, not in particularly good condition, or nick as they call it. And trout are funny in that way. You know, if you catch a fish out of the sea, one pretty much looks like all the others. But trout, depending on what they've been eating and what sort of food's available in the lake, will kind of be fat, or like that one, a bit skinny. They call it a snake. No good to eat.
Welcome back to the show where we have gone our separate ways. I'm trying to demonstrate the art of fooling a trout with a fly.
While I'm having coffee and cake and catching trout on the troll.
Such a boring way to fish.
Yes, well that is kind of the principal criticism that people have of trolling for trout, that it is kind of, well, boring I guess is one way of putting it, but I kind of think of it as marlin light. It is the same thing you do in a marlin boat. Basically you sit around, you wait for a strike, and then the fish comes on and you fight it and you catch it. So this is marlin light. But for people like Andrew who don't like to be in the outdoors and don't really have a sense that this is a privilege just to be here, I have come up with a very, very technical solution to while away the time while you're fishing for trout. I think you'll like this. It involves a bit of setup.
All right, so the couple of things I noticed in my time of reflection was that there was a fish rising along that far shore there. He's risen a couple of times, and I've also noticed some highland spinners hatching each time the wind lulls. So I'm using a mayfly imitation pattern, and hopefully he'll take that. I'm pretty sure he's just over on this edge here somewhere. I'll try and get my fly over there as best I can. Waiting, waiting, waiting. And the idea with your dry fly fishing is that the trout will come up and actually take that fly from the top of the water. Just nip it in like that. At which point you've got to strike and set the hook. There's a fair bit to it. That's because they're not easy to catch. Trout are particularly difficult to catch. And I see my fly. Where's my fly? Come on, this is the moment of truth. Very frustrating.
Righto, so Gen Y viewers will recognise what I've got here. I've got a PlayStation and a little LCD TV, and this is brilliant, I think. These boats, these tournament boats, have kind of more battery power than a World War II U-boat. So I'm not using the electric today, so I can put that battery power to good use with my entertainment system. And even better than that, it's cricket. Australia are taking on India at the moment in India, and there's every chance we'll lose that match. This is cricket 2005. We've got Warne, McGrath, Ponting at the height of his powers, Langer, Hayden. We're not going to lose this game. No fish.
Wide.
Bring it on. That is a wide. Don't bowl that rubbish at me.
Yep, and we've got him. And that is just fantastic, because I'm going to try and get him out of this weed, keep your rod high. That fish gave himself up just the once, and we were able to get our fly over there, and we were able to trick him into eating it. But there we go, a brown trout from right next to the shore, and he took that mayfly emerger fly. And they're a beautiful fish. He's not a monster, but he's a nice fish all the same. Now he would be beautiful to eat, absolutely beautiful, particularly out of Little Pine. They eat very well. We'll pop him back there, but that is what trout fishing is all about. It's not about just chucking in a big lure, sitting back and hoping. That's fantastic. Off you go, buddy. Here he goes. Ah, good.
Played a shot, man. Played a good shot. Right. Oh, well left, Gilly. This is brilliant.
Exciting plan. There's risk in that stroke, but it is maximum.
Oh, fish on! Fish on! Hang on, pause. Fish on! Oh, it feels all right too. Feels like a good fish, a good fish, a good fish. Good fish. Oh, he's a nice little trouty. Yeah, nice little trouty. Let's get him in. Little brown. I've got a bit of a tangle. I'll need to get onto that. Cricket's going okay. I need to get my head down. In the middle stage, in those difficult middle overs. So I just like to post a competitive total. We'll get this bloke back in the water. I wonder how hard he's getting on. He's having a lot of fun, I reckon.